Having an attorney is everything when it comes to the justice system. We all know this, right? A public pretender gets you sent up the river 9 times out of 10. Every now and then, though, there's a good one who's trying to work hard to earn his keep, get a good name for himself for when he can really get his private practice going, or he wants to become a prosecutor or something like that, you know. But typically, public pretender ain't ish. And then celebrities, right? Does the law look at them the same way it does another everyday individual? What should we say, 9 times out of 10? Like, let me know what y'all think the stats are on that. We have seen celebrities sent up the river, you know, sent to prison and stuff like that. But in this case here, there's so many wild aspects to it. The crime that Shawn Kemp, former NBA star who is still in the Seattle area and Tacoma, Washington, the case in itself and just all the circumstances, but the sentence that you're about to hear is wild in a shooting case, which in some ways is reminiscent of the case that OJ caught, that he went to prison for, if y'all remember that one.
Accept the responsibility for what I did. I should have used a better discretion.
Shawn Kemp addressing a judge apologizing for firing shots in 2023 towards people in a car in the Tacoma Mall parking lot. Those people were found with items stolen from Kemp, and Kemp said that's why he tracked them down, to get it back. He says he shot in self-defense and that shots were fired at him, a reason the defense brought up.
Based on what happened in the mall when he fired, given the totality of the circumstances, is there a basis to impose an exceptional sentence down? And I believe that there is.
The state argued Kemp approached the car with a gun, saying he had intention to use it, also noting contradictory statements they say he made and that he put the public in danger.
Mr. Kemp doesn't advise law enforcement that he had threw the firearm into the bushes at the Firestone.
A judge gave an exceptionally low sentence of 1 month of electronic home monitoring and 1 year in community custody, similar to probation. Kemp must also perform 240 hours of community service. The judge noted that Kemp said he was acting in self-defense and he has no criminal history.
The last 3 years have been tough, but I look forward to getting out in the community, still doing some work, but definitely going out here and being an advocate for guns and safety.
Kemp said he made a mistake by not calling police.
I'm frustrated at myself because I believe I could have made a better decision with the law. And I think sometimes when you take the law into your hand, the problem becomes bigger. And I think that's what happened with this case. Just by me taking the law into my hand, a simple phone call cop probably could have handled this.
He said going forward, he will continue to serve the community, sharing his story so others can avoid the mistake he made.
Really just think twice about your actions. You know, think twice when you have these actions of getting mad and upset. Just think twice about it.
The 2 people who were in the car he shot at are currently in prison for other crimes. It was also shared in court today that one of those people shot someone in Renton following this crime, thinking that it was Shawn Kemp. And the judge did note that in his decision today. In Tacoma, Connor Board, King 5 News.
So how about that? 30 days home monitoring. That's not a typical sentence, right? I mean, normally if you got a case pending or something, they'll throw the ankle monitor on you while the case is pending. Or if you just come home from prison or something like that, but just 30 days and then a year community supervision or whatever they call it, where he's got to do community service and all that, which is nothing for a shooting. And why I say the case is similar to OJ's, if y'all recall, OJ, which they had it out for the juice. And some people will say, well, yeah, most definitely he killed Nicole. A lot of people don't think that he did. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. But after that, he caught a road rage case that made major news, made it out of that one. But when individuals that stole his sports memorabilia, someone told the juice, yo, they're over here, and it is a little different. He busted in the place with a gun to get his own property back, and they cut a deal with someone who was there, like, hey, we'll give you immunity if you testify against OJ, and they case-laid him with all them years. Now, that's a little different as it's a robbery and all that, but Shawn Kemp here, he was trying to get his stolen property back, and you see what happened. He fired shots out in public in a parking lot. And it was a little unclear to me if they said there were shots fired at him or not. I couldn't quite make it out there. It sounded like they said something like that, but a big part of this, that's why I was saying it's wild. Like, his lawyer definitely put in some work and was no slouch at all to get him such a light sentence. But the circumstances of the case are crazy. You know, a lot of times someone robs you, you go to get your ish back, you fire a shot in public. That's reckless endangerment in New York by that penal code, at least a B felony. You can get over 10 years in prison for that in some instances. But 30 days home monitoring and community service, and that whole speech that he was giving off about taking the law into one's own hands, and a simple call to the police could have just made everything all better. And the fact that he threw the gun away too, you know, all that is typically not what you're supposed to do in self-defense cases. Typically you're supposed to cooperate with law enforcement right away. But the fact that these dudes, seemingly both locked up now doing prison bids, they stole his ish, and you heard it at the end there, one of them shot someone or shot at someone later on thinking it was Sean Kemp getting their get back. So these dudes were some bad individuals, right? You know, I think that helped his case. I wonder how this all played out. Like, did he know these dudes prior to this, or did they just happen to target him and rob him? Who knows, man? Because they definitely sounded like they were up to no good. And at the end of the day, man, he got away from a possible prison sentence. Tap in and let me know what you think about the case and all that. But yeah, that speech, a simple call to law enforcement, don't take the law in your own hands and all that, didn't that almost sound scripted? I wonder if someone wrote that up for him and was like, this would be a good PR move, say this or something. Or maybe not. Maybe that's truly from the heart. I'm not 100%, but I can't ever say I ever recall Sean Kemp getting into trouble. I could be wrong. Let me know if you remember. I don't. I remember someone saying too, Sean Kemp went straight from high school to the league as well before Kobe. But then I remember seeing that technically he did go to a college for a little bit. I don't know, man, if he actually played ball there or not. But Sean Kemp was the truth. Seattle's supposed to get a basketball franchise back as well. They just got a hockey NHL team with the Kraken. Things are definitely cracking on the West Coast with sports teams, between Vegas, which ain't necessarily West Coast, getting an MLB team. They got the Raiders now. Seattle's supposed to get my bad, y'all, a NBA team back. I wonder if they'll be the Supersonics again. But yeah, getting a bit off track with it all. Comment, everyone, your memories of Sean Kemp as a basketball player, all the NBA fans out there, and just what do you think about this case as a whole? You know what I mean? Like, not typical circumstances in any way. A very unorthodox situation. Sorry, y'all. And, you know, just wild for a celebrity being caught up in it. But he skates away with 30 days. If someone was hit, it probably would have been a different story. But thank goodness no one got hurt. I think he got his ish back, and he's got his freedom. And you see, again, them other individuals living a life of crime, and it caught up to them. Thanks for tuning in. It's been another episode of J Coffee Talk. Subscribe to the channel, hit the buttons. And if you're new out there, we talk music, news, sports, TV shows, current events, all kinds of stuff over here. Thanks for watching. Peace.